Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Madam Nur Hidayah Hanum binti Hamid. For this subject AGR 590, our group have been assigned to do a video presentation on selected topic. So, before we go deep into this interesting topic, let me introduce myself and my group members. My name is Adila Hanis binti Acha and my group members are Muhammad Adam Muzni, Muhammad Sukayadi Salim, Rabiatul Aida Mozaid, and Nur Farhani Shohada Rahimi. We are from group 3 of 82-34B, and in this video we will present and explain more about the importance of red hybrid tilapia in Malaysia. First of all, let me introduce what is red hybrid tilapia. Red hybrid tilapia, also known as Areocomis species, date from Cichlidae family. It is the most popular farm species in its southern and Mekong Delta area. Red hybrid tilapia was introduced from Taiwan to Malaysia. In Malaysia, the farmers culture red hybrid tilapia in marine environment which are in Perak and Kelantan. Other than that, it can adapt well with the industrial farming models, rough culture, pen culture, as well as pond culture. The red hybrid tilapia also is the most important way, accounting for 94% of total tilapia production. Lately, farmers are culturing red hybrid tilapia in marine environment as it fetches a better market price. Red hybrid tilapia also has a good tolerance to high stocking density, high productivity rate, and is adapted to a wide range of culture systems. It also resistant to certain disease and endures to change water parameter as well as high growth and survival rate. This species is hardy and ideal fish farming because of the relatively short culture period of about 6 months. This is because they grow rapidly on formulated feed with low protein content and can tolerate high carbohydrate level. In 2019, it was reported that Malaysia has been produced 31,844.83 tons of red hybrid tilapia. Next is I will present about the characteristic of red hybrid tilapia. Red hybrid tilapia is a popular strain among local farmer and consumer due to their favorable and attractive characteristic. The characteristics of red hybrid tilapia are similar, which has a compressive body, cycloid scales, and short upper jawline. This is showing that no sexual dimorphism of this species. As the figure above, we can see that the dorsal spines and the pelvic fin held by the bony spines. It also has the sophre, which is part of the continuous dorsal fin. The caudal fin provided with sophre and it is truncated. During the sowing season, the pectoral, dorsal, and caudal fin become the reddish in color. The genital opening is located behind the anus, which is the characteristic is different between genders. Therefore, there are different colors of red hybrid tilapia. In other words, color of red hybrid tilapia is not homogeneous, but it mixes with black dots. Tilapia with a slowly red or pink color is preferred and can be sold at the higher price. The red hybrid tilapia can reach up to 60 cm, which is 24 inches in length, and it can exceed 5 kg. As typical of red hybrid tilapia, males can reach a large size and grow faster than the females. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass the presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Type of cultural practical use for tilapia. Traditional culture, Traditional culture is community culture in backyard or home garden ponds to supplement the income of poor household, as well as provide a fresh source of animal proteins to the family. In such situation, the culture stock is often fed with kitchen waste and supplemented by relatively readily available, often low-cost agriculture byproducts such as rice bran. Next one, pond culture is the most popular method of growing tilapia. One advantage is that the fish are able to utilize natural foods. Management of tilapia ponds range from extensive system using only organic or inorganic fertilizer to intensive system using high protein feed, aeration and water exchange. Tilapia recruitment, the production of fry and fingerlings may be so great that offspring compete for food with their adults. Two major strategies for producing tilapia in pond is mixed-sex culture and male monoset culture, revolve around controlling spawning and recruitment. The third one, tank culture. Tilapia grow well at high density in the development of tank when good water quality is maintained. This is accomplished by aeration and frequent of continuous water exchange to renew the stock oxygen supplies and remove waste. Culture system that discard water after use called flow-through system, while those that filter and recycle water are referred to as recirculation system. Tank culture offers several advantages over pond culture. Tanks allow the fish culturists to easily manage stocks and to exert a relatively high degree of environment control over parameters such as water, temperature, DO, pH and waste that can be adjusted for maximum production. For tank culture also have some disadvantages. Since tilapia have limited access to natural foods in tanks, they must be fed a complete diet containing vitamin and minerals. The cost of pumping water and aeration increase production costs. The filtration technology of recirculating system can be fairly complex and expensive and require constant and close attention. For geographical range, the geographical range for culturing tilapia in outdoor tanks is dependent on water temperature. The preferred temperature for range of optimum tilapia growth is 82 to 86 Fahrenheit. At temperature below 54 Fahrenheit, tilapia lose their resistance to disease and are subject to infection by bacteria, fungi and parasites. And the last one, cage culture. Tilapia can be cultured at high density in mesh cage that maintain free circulation of water. Cage culture offers several important advantages. The breeding cycle of tilapia is disrupted in cages and therefore mixed-sex population can be reared in cage without the problem of recruitment and stunting, which are major constraints in pond culture. Eggs fall through the cage bottom or do not develop if they are fertilized. So for advantages of cage culture, flexibility of management, ease and low cost of harvesting, close observation of fish feeding response and help. For some disadvantages are risk of loss from poaching or damage to cage from predator or storms, less tolerance of fish to poor water quality, dependence on naturally complete diets, and greater risk of disease outbreak. For design and construction, both floating surface cage and standing surface cage are used for tilapia culture. Standing cage are tied to stakes driven into the bottom substrates, whereas floating cages require a flotation device to stay at the surface. Flotation can be provided metal or plastic drums, selected PVC, pipe or styrofoam. Site selection and placement of cages. Largest body of water tend to be suited for cage culture than small ponds because the water quality is generally more stable and affected less by fish waste. Exceptions are eutrophic, water-rich in nutrients and organic matter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Farhani Shoida binti Rahimi. I will be explaining on the red tilapia in Malaysia. Red tilapia is a common freshwater species cultured by farmers in Malaysia. Lately, farmers are culturing red tilapia in marine environment as it fetch a better market price. Red tilapia is the second largest fish produced after catfish in Malaysia. Statistically, red tilapia represented 86% of the total local tilapia production. Most red hybrid tilapia farmers in Malaysia tend to use unimproved species and strain without any information regarding their origin, genetic background, and growth performance. Culturing of red tilapia in marine environment was reported in Perak and Kelantan. Next, however, the growth of fish is affected by the endogenous factor such as stock, strain, and species, which directly involve with the genetic component of the fish. Traits associated with fast and efficient growth have a major influence on the animal production. tilapia plays an important role in aquaculture industry in Malaysia in achieving the state objective, which is in the National Agro-Food Policy. On the choice of color, the Malaysian aquaculture industry has always preferred the red hybrid. The red tilapia species in general is widely cultured in pond, cage, and tank. In the future, red tilapia has the potential to be the primary species for domestic and export market due to its strong consumer demand. Then, based on distribution in Malaysia, the red tilapia in Malaysia is distributed from farmer to wholesaler with the wholesale market. The products are live fish, fresh and fillet. And the market consists the city of Kuala Lumpur, Johor Bahru and Penang that will sell in fresh market, farmers market, seafood restaurant and supermarket. In terms of export, the products are based on live fish, frozen whole fish and fillet. The destination will be the Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Singapore and the United States. Okay, now in terms of development program, in Malaysia, there had been developed a program where the Department of Fisheries Malaysia initiate a systematic tilapia broodstock development program since the 9th Malaysian Plan. The breeding program was aimed to improve certain economically important traits such as growth and survival in a population, as the future of red hybrid tilapia aquaculture looks very promising and will remain a lucrative business with good demand and stable price. For this purpose, the red hybrid tilapia broodstock development program must be sustained. The existing program should be improvised so that the headway made in the 9, 10 and 11 Malaysia Plan based on Asian fisheries science. Until now, farms throughout Malaysia have been placed under monitoring to ensure the fish harvested are free of any pollution effect and safe to eat.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rabiatul Aida binti Muhazaid from M3802234B. I will present the importance of red hybrid tilapia. Okay, for the first important is to create job opportunities. This is for local entrepreneur. For example, like fish farming in ponds or fish farm. This activity will have provided 134,000 employment, where 105,000 from them are fishermen and 29,000 from them is fish farmers. This activity will help to reduce poverty since people can generate income by cultivating red tilapia breed, and also can increase Malaysia's GDP by generating more revenue from the red tilapia cultivation. As for the second importance is to create opportunities for researchers where they can do a research to make an improvement of red tilapia breed to get a high quality breed, increase amount of meat, create a sustainable species and find a way to reduce cost management. Next is increase export value. Sarawak has started to export cultured red tilapia to Singapore in 2019, and together with that, Malaysia also export frozen red tilapia and fillet to Dubai and US, which is giving our country more revenue. Then, red hybrid tilapia also can help in expanding the food industry. They have a high source of protein, low in sodium, calories, fat, and not contain nitrates that causing cancer. The fish meat contain essential fatty acid omega-3 and omega-6. It is a best choice for pregnant women or breastfeeding women or children aged over 2 years. The fish meat have a meat flavor, lean fish and easy to prepare, and also it is relatively inexpensive. Restaurants usually cook red tilapia as tilapia satay, fillet, and tilapia steam and many more menu to satisfy people's appetite. The red hybrid tilapia have a high demand at luxury hotel, seafood restaurant, supermarket, hotels and local people. The last important of red hybrid tilapia is to give a lot of health benefit. Some of them are help in growth and development, where the fish meat is a source of protein for the growth and development of muscle, cellular repair, and proper metabolic activity. By eating red hybrid tilapia, we can promote weight loss since they are low in calories and fats. Eating tilapia is a good way to reduce calorie intake, but still we can get a necessary nutrients. Next is help in promote bone health, where the tilapia contain phosphorus that can prevent osteoporosis. The last one is eating red hybrid tilapia is good for brain health, since they contain potassium and omega-3 fatty acid that help to boost brain power and increase neurological function. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Sukayadi bin Salim. Now I will present about the disease and control measurement for red hybrid tilapia. The first one is viral nervous necrosis, VNN. The agent for the disease letters Calcarifer encephalitis virus. The type of the disease is virus. The syndrome you can see here, pale or dark coloration, erratic swimming behavior, spiral swimming, bloating, fainting, extensive vacuolation of the brain and spinal cord, generally encountered during hatchery phase. The treatment we can do here need to do screening of broodstock, low larval rearing density, optimal larval nutrition, improve broodstock nutrition, improve hatchery hygiene. The second one is columnaris disease. The agent for the disease is Flavobacterium columnar. The type of the disease is bacteria. The syndrome we can see external. Present first as brown to yellowish brown, lesion on the gills, skin and fins. Lacks the normal shiny appearance. Early sign of infection also include fin erosion. For the external, during acute outbreaks, bacteria sometimes reach the blood system and resulting in a systemic infection. The treatment we can do for this disease is we need to do biosecurity, reduce the rearing density, rearing unit hygiene, and optimal water flow and also the water quality. We need to do optimal nutrition, frequent removal of moss schooling or of moribund fish. For the third disease is Lernia. The agent for the disease is Lernia sp and cowworms. Disease type is parasites. The syndromes we can see here is focal hemorrhage at point of attachment, skin show sign of inflammation, flashing and common sign, respiratory part manifestation of if gills affected, exophthalmia, eyes abnormal will be affected. Treatment that we can do is lethargy. Lethargy is a lack of energy and autisms. We can put potassium permanganate is usually considered the best treatment and can be used either as a tank treatment or a teeth treatment. Salt dipping, formalin dip, and modern antiparasitic can help too for this disease. For the last disease is bronchiomycosis. We call it gill rot. The agent for the disease is Bronchiomycus sanguinis and Bronchiomycus demigrans. The type of the disease is fungus. Syndrome that we can see here, fish become weak in movement. Fish are gathered in group at water inlet and die. Fish do not react to the approach of man and can be caught by a hand. There is respiratory distress infected if fish and do not swallow the air. Fungus develops on or in gill tissue or penetrate the blood vessel and will causing the obstruction. The congestion and necrosis of gill tissue also being affected. The treatment that we can do is gill may be appearing red from impaired circulation. Strict sanitation and disinfection are essential for the disease control. Dead fish should be collected and burned, and also buried deeply. They can do point with enzootic bronchiomycosis, be dried and treated with calcium oxide. Transportation of infected fish areas to non-infected areas must be prevented. An increase of water supply can help too for disease control.